Hi guys, so this video is going to be about early delving in the league. Now, I personally have done it 2 leagues in a row. This league was one of my better starts rather than the last one, even though I had like very bad build that I didn't invest any currency in. Um, I'm going to go more into details just because I like to explain why I'd make these choices. So, for example, if I recommend you to pick up a node and for heist, for example, and heist goes down, you know that you should pick up something else. So this one is going to be a bit longer. So yeah, I'm gonna put the timestamps down below. So if you want to just skip through the stuff that you want to know, you can. So you might ask why Delph? Other than having cute ass bear, that which is one reason. Second reason is you do something that is not very popular, and you make bunch of currency out of it, right? So we have the delving uniques, you have the delving cards, and you have also the fossils. And I think the biggest gain you get is curse rings. I don't think I have any more curse rings. I have actually flame ability here. Now, one thing that adds to all of that, what I just said, is that you don't need to use any of the currency that you see right here, right? So we invest in alterations because they're quite very cheap at the early league, but we sell everything else, and we invested in our character, or we invested in items that we know that will double or triple in price. Now, another thing is Chaos Recipe. It's so easy to make a Chaos Recipe in Delph. And the reason being is, if you guys did Delph, you should know that there are, in Darkness, boxes, right? If you are under depth 140, which is equivalent of tier 16 maps, you can do the Chaos Recipe. And for example, there's even note for jewelry itself. But I don't usually try to go for them because I get enough rings and amulets when I'm farming in the darkness itself. Now, I showed you an idea that you should be doing Delve. Now, how do you progress in early league? Now, if you want to have a more in-depth guide, it would be when you do the completion on as many maps as possible to get your Altlas Tree. That's what I'm going to talk about next. And yeah, at this point, usually I stop around tier 8. When I go through these maps, I get enough points to do whatever I need, and I can just do deep delving, right? Then the later part of the delve is decided by tier 15s and 16 maps. For example, if the natural drop for tier 15 was like this league Dunes, what I did is I only finished the Dune map. Now what it does is when you drop a map, right, in a city, the game scans your maps and check if you have finished any single one in that particular tier. If you didn't, you drop a random map. But if you drop Dunes, you will drop only Dunes. So this league, I made a bunch of currency by selling Dunes for 5 or 6C. Right, yeah, 6C. I was selling them for 6C. And I was making a fair amount of currency. Now you can see the example here. Right? These 2 or these 3 maps are finished and the other ones I didn't. So I have 40 of these, 43 of these, 30 of these, 26 of these. And then eventually I finished the other ones. But when I was doing the early tier 13 maps, that's the only ones that I was getting. Now this is only if you like very experienced and you know what maps are very expensive. So now let's get into the tree. Now in early league, we do beeline for mining partnership. Reason is pretty simple. The first day or first 2 days, the sulfite scarabs are quite expensive. Even though like they're easy to drop, they can be quite expensive. So we should be picked up this and this node. It's only 3 points, but actually juices our map drops quite a lot. And yet again, we don't care about the tier of the maps, we just care about the completion. So we pick up this delve. What these nodes do pretty much, they will help you clear and they give you more sulfite and chance to get azurite with the sulfite. And the last node, this one pretty much gives you sulfite on completing the map. So pretty easy, right? So as you can see, that's 35 points. That's not even halfway done through to tier 8, I'd say like that's finished like all the white maps, right? So at this point, I have a look on my character. Do I kill the map bosses very quickly and easily? If yes, I'll go Essence. If not, I'll go Heist. Now, thanks to the teleport, we can actually spend just a little amount of points this week, which is actually really nice. And boom, look at that. Yeah. Now you're like, okay, so what I should pick up next? That it's based either on what you like to do, or what market wants. If the rogue coins are very expensive this league because the endless heist is not available for people this league, they might actually want a bunch of the heist contracts. So maybe we pick up the heist contracts and everything heist wise. If not, you can never go wrong by picking up extra quantity and quality, like at all. If you like to do harvest and other stuff, you can pick it up as well, but that's based on the league. This is the main core tree that you're going to be using. Now, later on, down the line, when you get into red maps, you can pick up Exarch and Eater, but you need to be in tier 14 maps. So, I would say this is like almost like 5 to 6 days in, and you have your ashes, and you have like some good item, and you don't have an issue going 200 300 depth, maybe a bit deeper. When it comes to delving itself, how do you progress? I have a guide on delving itself, and I'm explaining why the curse rings are so good, and the boss drops. So if you don't know the information about delving itself, I recommend you to check it out. But TLDR is we look for these icons, right? We look for all of these icons, including the bottom ones. So let's say I just started and I'm depth 60, right? So usually what the card does while you progress maps and you start leveling up, the card actually digs by itself. But I'll go all the way up and I start looking for the icons, right? I'm scanning. Let's pretend this is I can see like edge of a city, right? I can see edge of this square. So I know, oh, I need to path towards it. If I don't see anything, I go to the deepest point. Let's say this is the deepest that I am right now, right? And I just go sideways and downwards until I encounter one of the good nodes. Now it's completely random, right? The amount of cities you encounter and everything is completely random. So as you can see, for example, here I was like, okay, down and left, down and left, down and left, down and left. You can change it and then go right again, because it's not gonna hurt you, but that's what I do usually. And you can see I go deeper if my character is having easy time. You need to one hit the mobs, right? You cannot have like very hard time killing because it would slow you down and it would be pointless. But for example, here my I think this was a time before I swapped my builds, so I had to go sideways only, because if I would go deeper I would have a hard time. I even went up for a little bit, and then I eventually swapped my builds. Oh no, this is while I was grinding, but then I swapped my build and I was like, oh, easy, right? So I just went down and I was going downwards. So one thing that you want to hit when it comes to delving is 140 depth. Now, reason being is when you 140 depth, you can encounter every single one of the bosses, and the owl will give you the best items, right? The owl's amulet is unID'd like 10 divines and ID'd like 30 in early league. However, if you go too deep too fast, you're unable to do the chaos recipe. So you need to wait it out, right? The chaos recipe will make huge, like a big part of your income as well. So, it's totally up to you. So let's talk builds. When it comes to builds, one thing that I want to point out is there's a difference between like early delving and delving itself, like deep delving. Now, when it comes to deep delving, I always recommended tanky stuff. Anything with Ages of Aurora, which is like, Righteous Fire, Spark Inquisitor. I don't know. Even Arcali's Fang did very well. I would say if you had easy time doing stuff like simulacrums on certain builds, you should have easy time delving as well, because it's very similar, right? Bunch of monsters come at you from both sides, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, that's only when it comes to like deep delving. So if you're not sure, and let's say you don't want to play Righteous Fire when you do deep delving, you don't want to do let's say Cold Dot, what I usually do is I do PoE Ninja, go builds, I go week 1, and I get sorted out by depth, right? So as you can see, Jag with Righteous Fire, this is Spark Occultist, I assume with Ages of Aurora, Custom Crit, this should be Evasion, Evasion Trickster with Chaos and Blight, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Poisonous Concoction is fairly easy at the early leagues because you have, block and suppression. So that's that. And as you can see, that's like the general theme. You have the Cold Dot, as I said. This is what I'm going to be league starting myself personally. And you have stuff that freezes everything around you, or is very, very tanky when it comes to deep delve. So if you want to have like inspiration, what you want to have as your secondary build for like deep delving, have a look here. However, when it comes to league start, I think it's completely up to you, right? So my day 1 last league, I did start on Poisonous Concoction. Now, why Poisonous Concoction is because I suck at leveling and I despise the leveling itself, right? So I need to pick up skill that is good in Act 3 and I can play it until I swapped for the new build. So I did it with the Poisonous Concoction, right? This is my finishing day 1 and I woke up to day 2, right? So I invested all of my currency into alterations. This is some trade that I did at the early beginning, but this is the build that I played and I didn't change it for another 2 to 3 days until I was able to buy Square. So as you can see, you can play fairly cheap builds. And when I have a look at the delve itself, I hit 140 depth, maybe 150. Yeah. But then I was like, okay, if I would go deep, it would be counterproductive, right? And as I said, I just went sideways until I got enough currency. So this character, 1 5-ling and bunch of leveling rares can pretty much get you pretty easily through 140 depth. Like, there's no way I can kill bosses on that build, right? This build cannot kill any of the bosses. Like, there's no way. But, do the normal progression and pick up stuff from the darkness. And I was able to buy Squire after that, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what day was it that I bought the Squire itself. I would have to have a look. I don't think I did updates because no one watched them. so I didn't make them. So this is day 2 and 3. And as you can see, I have all the Squire, I have all the jewels set up. So, and the build still didn't change at all. So it's totally up to you. So when it comes to my build for this league, it's going to be Castle and Carried, Forbidden Rite. As you can see, there's like a couple of examples. Let's say no Mage Blood. Usually, like, this is what I want to go for. Pretty simple, right? I'm just gonna go Skin of the Loyals instead, and this is pretty easy to get. Hopefully within the first week. We'll see. I might not go for the Ashes. I might try to get Mage Blood before the Ashes. We'll see. But this is going to be my main deep delving build, right? However, for my start, which is going to be for the first time, is I'm going to try Cold Dot Oculist. I never played it. I already found like leveling process. So if you guys are interested in this build, I'm going to post it. Of course, it's going to be changed because you don't use Arcane Search and you don't use Onslaught. but you can pretty much see roughly what the build look like while it's leveling. And also this league, the build should get buffed, and you should be able to easily get a new set, new passive points. So you don't need to go for clusters, and you're gonna use Agents of Aurora on it as well. So it should be easy, build swap between those two. When it comes to the early investing, thanks to the PoE Ninja, you can always, for example, there's like item you might be like, okay, is it worth investing in? I can have a look, right? I did make a video about it, what I would recommend and what days and what to buy. So right here. So if you are interested, you can have a look. Also, if you have any questions, you can come to my stream or ask on my Discord. Now, I'm not going to be streaming until the league will start, because only thing that I'll be doing is leveling up the Cold Dot till Act 3. And that's going to be pretty much my training. I don't want to do much leveling because I usually then get sick of it even prior to the launch. So you can always contact me on the Discord. I'm going to put Discord down below. So if you have questions, you can ask there. I'll be there online almost every day. Thank you for all the guys for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.